I'm here today with Debra Burlingame. She has an organization called 9/11 Families for a Safe and Strong America. Tell us how you got involved in fighting the Islamic terrorist threat in America.
Well, my brother was the pilot of American Airlines Flight 77, which was hijacked and crashed at the Pentagon on 9/11. He was my oldest brother, a family of 4 kids, and I wanted to find out what happened to him, how that could have happened, how the country could have been so susceptible to a terrorist attack. So from that led to my supporting national security issues. I actually became, I suppose, an activist on those issues. And as I got deeper and deeper into it, it became much more complicated. It wasn't just the threat of terrorist attacks. It was the threat of losing our country from the threat of global Islamism, which is a supremacist ideology, which is very much a threat to Western ideology.
Yesterday you spoke on a panel that was terrific, all about the terrorist threat in America. Can you just sum up for us, for those who weren't able to watch and haven't watched it yet, what were some of the main points from your part of the presentation?
Well, the topic was confronting the Islamist threat in a post-Bin Laden world, the issue of al-Qaeda, and is that the threat which has been enunciated by the current administration, of the Obama administration, that it's basically on the road to defeat. And we believe that it is definitely not on the road to defeat. In fact, Islamism is on the rise all over the world. Bin Laden was the leader of a movement that started long before he was even born. His organization not only survives, but it's spreading and it's adapting. And so really what the panel discussion was, what is the nature of the threat, how it's adapted, what's going on in the Middle East. Here we have a president who believed that we needed to reset our relationship with them, basically said America has mishandled our relationship with the Islamic world. And look at what has happened in the few years he's been in office. We have the Middle East in utter disarray. He is one of the most hated American presidents that has ever sat in that in the Oval Office in the Muslim world. So appeasement doesn't work, and switching sides and allying with our enemies doesn't work, and that's part of what we discussed yesterday.
Debra, this is such a huge topic, and you have spent years of your life now researching and really delving into this. Where would you recommend people go, either whether your website or other places, just to begin to whet their appetite for what this threat is in America?
Read. There's so much information on the internet. I would recommend certain authors. Andrew McCarthy, a former prosecutor who spent many years of his life prosecuting terrorism in the 1990s, he describes this threat very accessibly in a book called The Grand Jihad. I would start there. Educate yourself, because there's a lot of people out there that in the highest reaches of government who are trying to delude the American people into thinking that if we just are nicer to jihadis, they'll leave us alone. They don't really care whether we're Republicans or Democrats, independents, liberals or conservatives. They want to dominate us and dominate the world because we're not Muslims. And a particular brand of Muslims, I might add. There's secular Muslims in this country and pious Muslims who don't want this either, but they are very much in the minority. And if we want to help them buy into the American project, we have to sell the American project, not apologize for it. But start with Andy McCarthy, The Grand Jihad. That's a very good book.
What about your website? Where can people go to find out? You're on Fox News often and other TV shows. Where can they go to find out more about you and what you do?
They can go to 911familiesforamerica.org. There's a lot of material on there and a lot of directions there on where to find other information.
Well, we thank you so much for being here, and we would like all of you to take the time and go watch the panel that took place on the terrorist threat in America. Go to steamboatinstitute.org, and thanks again for being with us.
Thanks a lot.